It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And it is just after the new year. We have kind of a lull in activity that week in between, Christmas and New Year and getting going. So I thought this would be a really good time to do a commissioned piece. Those of you that follow closely remember the courtyard installation that we just completed in Vista, California. And they had that great big long wall along that's basically the garage. Greg made this fantastic 6-foot by 2-foot barnwood custom vertical, and I am ready to plant it out. So what I did is I found this great piece of dried manzanita at Waterwise Botanicals, and I attached it to the chicken wire with fishing line. And now I am going to start the process of planting it out. I got a bunch of plants from Oasis Water Efficient Gardens. I also have cuttings that I collected from my garden and from other places. And I'm super stoked to see how this goes. I am going to be working with cuttings and glue. I'm not going to be putting rooted plants in here. I also got some, some larger things like this donkey tail, and I have this great big Gibiflora hybrid Echeveria, and I will be basically taking this out of the can, shaking off all of the dirt, finding the thick stem and running some wire through the stem and securing this big heavy plant with wire to the chicken wire to hold it in place. So some of the big things will be wired in, but everything else is just going to be mossed and glued.
It's my birthday.
Well, we are here in Vista, and Greg has attached the hanger to the wall of the house. The hanger that he got will hold up to 400 pounds. We think that the vertical probably weighs about 100, would you say? Probably about 100, and not even that. Remember, this is filled with sphagnum moss, dry moss, and where these plants were all rooted when I bought them, I did work with them mainly as cuttings. So it's not really as heavy as you might think. Someone asked how many plants, and I think a fair estimate would be hundreds.
Easier than the Pharaoh.
We can fix anything ground level. Don't worry about it.
Can you see?
Oh, that felt good.
Yeah. Got it?
Like a glove.
Is it centered?
Ooh, so pretty.
So, huh? Right? OMG. So, as is always the way, we step back with the client, and I'm just as amazed as everybody else. When we installed the garden in this courtyard, you know, it's kind of almost a Gothic look. Because of the architecture, I went with black pots, which I've never used. I went with the indigo basalt that some of you call asphalt top dressing. Our plants, because this is kind of shady, you know, are a little monochromatic. And I wasn't even thinking vertical at all at that point. But when I got this all done, it occurred to me how spectacular one here would be. And now, I mean, the garden was just made for this, wasn't it? And it's just so amazing to me how that works. The client is absolutely thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. So we, as I said, you know, Greg put together this frame out of barnwood. He treated it with Thompson's water seal. It is stuffed with sphagnum moss, and I used almost a whole bale, and chicken wire. And then the plants I just cut up and put a little glue on the end and shoved them in through the chicken wire. This Echeveria Gibbophilora hybrid is actually wired in, but all the rest of them are just shoved through the chicken wire. And we don't anticipate any issues or problems. Maintenance will be not much, as needed, and you know, if I need to remove a dead leaf or if I need to snip a spent bloom. Watering will be with a hose on a mist setting, just misting. I told the client whenever she felt like it, because this is anchored up in sphagnum moss and they are cuttings. Watering is really not going to be an issue. This particular microclimate does get a bit of humidity. They get marine layer. It's shady. So, you know, I told her she could water it literally whenever she wanted and not have to worry about over or underdoing it. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity reporting from Vista with your succulent vertical tip of the day.